Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Koji. So I'm a freelance videographer. So on this channel, mainly I talk about cameras, reviews, and also comparison of the cameras. So today we have got a special one. YongNuo has sent me this 16mm f1.8 lens, which is what I'm shooting right now on my ZV-E10. So yeah, hard work is starting to pay off. You know, brands started to notice you and send you some products for reviews. And of course, I'm not paid by YongNuo and I'm free to say every stuff about this lens. So this lens is a 16mm Prime Lens. The only other alternative I can think of is the Sigma 16mm f1.4, which is super popular, and also the 16mm f2.8 Sony E-mount lens. So this lens has a place for itself because the most obvious thing is the size. It is like half the size of the Sigma 16mm f1.4, which is quite tricky to use when you are going out to vlogging. Well, 16mm is equivalent to 24mm in full frame equivalent. It is one of the most common video shooting focal length on an APSC camera. It is not too wide and it is obviously not tight. So when you're shooting a subject like a human being, so there will be not much distortion on their face as compared to my Viltrox 13mm and also the Sony 11mm. And what is more important about this Prime lens is that we can go down to f1.8. Yes, we need to get down to f1.8 to get that creamy bokeh and also the great low light performance. So right here, right now, I'm shooting at f1.8 with just ISO 160. So if I'm going to shoot at the kit lens, f3.5, let me show you what will happen. So let's increase the aperture to f3.5. So now I'm on f3.5. So what you see immediately is that, you know, my ISO just goes up to ISO 800 and you can see my background become much clearer. So because my home studio right here is just so messy and I want to try to hide it as much as possible, so I need to go down to f1.8. f1.8 just ISO 160. So yes, you can see, yeah, my background is not so clear anymore. So right now, let's dive into key spec of this lens, YongNuo 16mm f1.8 lens. For this lens, the aperture range from f1.8 to f16 and it has 7 aperture blade diaphragm, which is quite standard. It utilizes the integrated quiet digital stepping model, DSM, so the focusing is very good and it tracks well, especially on human faces and eyes. Most importantly, it is really quiet. It's still focusing on my eye. Yes, it lock focus so well on my eyes. The short minimum focusing distance of just 17 centimeters. It is equipped with a built-in USB port for future firmware updates. The filter tray is 58mm and this lens just weighs about 273 grams, so pairing it up with the Sony ZV-10 really has no problem at all. It is so easy to use. So right now, let's see some sample photos and enjoy the f1.8 bokehs. These photos are shot in RAW and then corrected with the YongNuo 16mm lens profile. So you can see from f1.8 and to f8, the photos just look amazing. Yes, it is pretty sharp at f10 and f8, and also at f1.8 the bokeh is not bad at all. And I've tried to shoot some portrait for you guys to see the bokeh. Yes, you can still enjoy some bokeh on this 16mm lens. So for image quality, while pairing it up with the Sony ZV-10, I can say that it is good. And for chromatic aberration, it's quite low and it handles really well with the nano multi-layer clothing of this lens. And of course, this lens is not free from vignetting and distortion, especially while open f1.8, you can see the vignette. It is quite noticeable. There's a tad bit of distortion. You can see that when you're shooting portrait, once you apply the lens correction profile, the face just got slimmer. For video performance, this lens performed really well too. Here are some samples I shot with the YongNuo 16mm f1.8, so you guys can see the quality yourself. So for videos, I have to say it looks pretty good and really sharp and amazing. So if you want to vlog with this lens, it is a bit challenging because 16mm is a wide angle lens, but it is not so wide enough. You can see it is still a bit tight. So now I'm vlogging with my arm fully extended. So for prime lens, you can turn on the background defocus mode and you can see the f1.8 creamy bokeh just behind me. So if I turn it off, so you can see my background is all clear again. So everything is clear again. Let's turn it on again. Yeah, this is a handy little feature for you to switch the aperture from the minimum to the maximum and the maximum to the minimum. Low light f1.8 ISO 640, f2.2 ISO 1000, f3.5 ISO 2500. So this is what the kit lens will achieve, ISO 2000 in this environment. f6.3 ISO 6400. It is at the limit of the ISO that I have set to the maximum ISO 6400. So for autofocus performance, this lens I would say is quite average, because most of the times when we are shooting with Sony camera, we are shooting with autofocus continuous mode, which is the APSC mode. When I'm shooting a subject and then I want to move to another subject, it is a tad bit slower to rack focus to the subject. There's a slight delay on detecting a change in, a subject in the frame. However, it does really well when it detects a face. When I pan my camera towards my brother, you can see that it will snap focus and start to track my brother's eye. The focus reading is quite acceptable. It is not too significant. You can see here I'm focusing on the back of the chair and also another dog. You can see the bokeh and the shift of focus is quite smooth. This lens is actually built on aluminum alloy, just like the Viltrox lens where everybody is praising about it because it has a metal feeling to it. So this is the Viltrox lens. As you can see, it is built sturdy, and the YongNuo is the same. It is built quite sturdy. So here comes the question, should you get this lens? We need to look at the pros and cons of this lens in order to decide that for you. So first of all, the pros, it is priced at $288 US. It is quite a budget and affordable option for us APS-C shooter. It is cheaper than the alternative options. And also the size and handling of this lens, which is 273 grams as compared to 405 grams of the Sigma 16mm. So this lens also comes with those G-lens function. There's an AF and S switch toggle button, and also you have the focus hold button, which you can customize later on to enhance the filmmaking experience. The short minimum focusing distance of just 17 centimeters, so you can capture small objects and to create better, creamier bokeh. And also surprisingly for this lens, it is dust and moisture resistant, but it is not weather sealed. So for the cons of this lens, the most obvious and potential deal breaker for you might be the aperture changing noise. When you change the aperture of this lens, there's a little bit of noise you can hear.
3.5.
And also we have the lens hood, so it is made on plastic. When you try to put it on your camera lens, it feels just not smooth enough, and when you successfully mounted it on your lens, there's a click sound, but every time I put it on the hood, I need to like twist like 2 to 3 times to get it right. Yeah, it just felt not smooth to try to put the lens hood on the lens because I feel like I'm going to scratch my camera lens. And also for shooting video, with the autofocus continuous mode, it will be a tad bit slower when you are shifting focus between different frames. But when you are shooting a subject like humans, then it will be a different story because it will lock and snap focus very fast. And also guys, I know that f1.8 you can create a creamy bokeh, but when I shoot it at f2.8, you can see that the bokeh ball doesn't seem smooth. There's a diagonal shape. So yeah guys, this lightweight and compact lens is good for its price. It's affordable for an APS-C shooter like me using the Sony ZV-10 where I want to get f1.8, really good bokeh, low light performance, a fast prime lens. This is it, the YongNuo 16mm f1.8. This is a well-rounded lens. It has a refined handling characteristic. You got those G-lens feature like a focus hold button, AF/MF shift toggle button. So if you're on a budget and you don't like those big and bulky lenses like the Viltrox 1.4, it is heavy and bulky, and also the Sigma 16mm f1.4. If you prefer small and travel friendly, just get this YongNuo 16mm f1.8 lens. If I use the Sony 11mm lens, there's just too much distortion, and also the bokeh is not that creamy as compared to 16mm. So guys, that's all for today, a review for the 16mm f1.8 YongNuo lens. And I think this is the first ever proper lens review that I did for a Sony camera lens. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. So any questions about this lens and also the camera or any other stuff, just leave it down in the comment below. I also have left down some links where you can get this lens on the description box, so you guys can go and see. So guys, bye bye.